first step in fog light rewire is to take off the switch panel here. It just pops out, just like that. Now I'm going to have some modified wiring in here, but I'll just point out what we're concerned about here. This is the fog light switch on the back of this guy. If we unplug it, there it goes. All right. Now we've got the switch unplugged. We need to take the red and green wire and provide this with a constant ground. This switch normally relies on the headlight circuit to help complete the ground. We don't want to do that. So we're going to provide ground always to this guy by using the defroster circuit. Defroster circuit has a good ground. We can grab that right here. It's the white and black lead there. So if we splice this guy in, then we'll have the rear defroster working. Looks like I only have one lead there, so I'm gonna have to go back and grab this other one and put it back in. It looks like that tore out a while ago. I did this about 8 years ago, and it was the first thing I did to my Supra when I got it 8 years ago. If I were to do this today, I would not use wire caps. I would use crimped connections, and I may go back and do that for this guy. But even doing this the relatively cheap and easy way, it's worked well for 8 years. Now living in Arizona, I never need the rear defroster, so I'm not really concerned about that, but I'd prefer to fix that, so I'll probably go back and do that. But suffice to say, you can do this the cheap and easy way, and it's worked for me for 8 years. Again, it's not the ideal way to do it, but it works. It's cheap, it's easy, and it's treated me well. So you'll need to just tie into this guy for your ground again, and then ideally you'll have all those connected back together. There's not a lot of space back there, so that can be difficult to do. You can remove this lower trim piece and get a little more access in there, but either way, whatever works. So that will finish this up, and oops, plug that switch back in there. Never mind my homemade switch bracket there. Alright, so now that just pops back into place. So now that we have completed the ground part of this circuit, and we've bypassed this relay and this diode, and we've just gone straight from this side of the fog light switch in the dash down to ground. So we've eliminated all this stuff here, this light control mechanism which is in the combination switch. This forces the fog lights off when the headlights are off. So we've gotten rid of part of the equation now, but now we need power. So if we look at the wiring diagram, this is the fog light relay, that's fog light power, and these are the actual fog lights. So the fog lights themselves are actually grounded now. Now we have a good ground for our switch, but now we need to take care of the power side. Well, the fog light circuit is through this relay, so we need to get this relay with power that is available all the time. So that all we have to deal with is the switch here. From the factory, it's integrated into the headlights again on the power side. So we need to get rid of that. So how we do that is in the kick panel, and I've got an aftermarket alarm with a bunch of wiring down there, so it is really tough to see what's going on. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get a good shot. I may have to take some pictures and then just display them as some stills in this video. But what you need to do is find the fog light relay, and that's this relay here in the diagram. We need to find that relay physically. It's behind a green box up under the driver's side kick panel. I'll work the camera around here and see if I can get any decent shots. So you can see a little bit of that green box, and if you see my fuse holder right here with the orange wire peeking out right there. And that's what I installed. So you need to find the relay, which is right up here, and like I said, it's really hard to see. Just a really crappy view. It's tucked up in there, nice and good, but you can see that orange wire and where that terminates. That little L-shaped yellowish plastic connector is what you need. So you can pull that off of the thing that it's on, the part of the frame, the little tab. It's difficult to pull off, but you can do it. You pull that off, and you need to cut the, I believe it's red and black, and I'll put text over the video if that's wrong, but I think it's red and black. And that is your, that's the other side of the fog light switch, and that's what we're going to tie into and just jumper it straight over to power. So the way you do that is with this little inline fuse deal, and you can get that on Amazon or at a local auto parts store. They're cheap. So you need that because you don't want to tie this into just straight power, because that's really stupid. Don't ever do that. You need to fuse your power sources. So get a fuse, a little inline fuse deal, and you can tie it into any 12-volt power. The easiest way to do it, and the way that I did it 8 years ago, and the way that it's been working, is to go into the cigarette lighter fuse. See if I can get that focused any better. There you go. You take out the fuse, curl the wire around the end of the blade of the fuse, so that almost like you were going to cut the wires with the blade of the fuse. But then you install it into the fuse block again, and that gets you your power connection there. That's the easy way to do it. As I said earlier in the video, this is not the most professional way to do it. If I were to do it again today, I would do it a little differently. But it gets the job done, and it's worked for me for the last 8 years, so I guess I can't knock it too bad. And that's it. To get to this area here, what I didn't film, you need to take the door sill off. My front screw doesn't really stay in, so I could just pull it to the side. But you need to take this front kick panel piece out, and that's this guy. And it only has one screw down there, and that's it. Then it just pulls off. So pretty easy. Again, a real cheap modification. Costs you just a couple bucks, maybe 10 bucks. Cheap, easy, and functional too. Having the fog lights on as a safety mechanism, I think, is worthwhile, if nothing else. Just as a substitute for daytime running lights, I think it works pretty well. There you go. If you liked the video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, visit the website, and let me know what else you want to see.